So let us begin in either a seated position. If you prefer that, you can sit on your heels, you can sit on your bottom, or you could choose to come into child's pose. And I recommend to support the child's pose if that is where you want to be already. So which means you could pop a block, a book, or hands underneath the forehead and resting there. I will read a very short poem out to you as you settle into your chosen position. That's the one that goes along with the card. So before we go into any physical sensation or anything, choose to have eyes open or closed, whichever allows you to take it in. Love brings the sea into boiling and turns the mountain into a pebble. Love creates infinite openings in the dark sky and shatters the earth with its magnitude. So very short and all about love and what love can create. Isn't taking good care of ourselves love as well? And what this world needs constantly, what we need, what we can take with us wherever we go after this life, is also just love. So let's take that idea in, and how much can be created by just cultivating love. As you might choose now to close your eyes, to acknowledge your physical body in the way it is right now. To begin and feel into the foundation that keeps you grounded, and the parts of the body that are taking part in it, in the position you've chosen. And whatever you're feeling, and even if it's that niggle or the pain that you woke up with this morning, love this part of yourself too. And take the awareness then into the parts of the body that are somewhere in space, that are still helping you to be in this pose that you've chosen. But maybe they are more passive. Taking yourself in as that whole being that has decided to come to the mat. And as you begin to notice your breath now, just go into the feeling of breathing into your lungs. And maybe you can't feel the lungs themselves breathing in and out, but maybe you can get into that feeling of where do the lungs take part in expanding and releasing your body. Returning your awareness over and over again to your breathing within this practice on your mat or throughout your day is a way of cultivating love. Because we immediately focus more inwards, a place from which we can live a more loving life. If you feel it's appropriate for you, please start to deepen your breathing now and beginning to expand not just into the rib cage, but maybe even applying a full yogi breath as you expand into belly, ribs, and up underneath your collarbones, and breathing out from the belly to the ribs, to the space under the collarbones, in and out of your nose. Maybe coming even to a breath that feels full but is free of strain and has a balance to it between the in and the out breaths. And as always, do I invite you to maintain this breath throughout the practice, and even if it gets lost sometimes, just returning to it. If you are in a seated position rather than in a child's pose, it's a gentle movement to the body. If you're in a child's pose, you might start to move a little bit as well. As I'd ask those of you in a seated position to join the others in a child's pose. And I still invite you to keep moving once you made your way there. Allowing maybe a swaying movement or moving other parts of the body that feel the benefit from it. And even if that was to turn the head gently side to side. I'd ask you all now to really stretch the arms forward, to spread out through the fingers as you do so, and to notice now how the shoulders are starting to lift up around the ears, and how that is perfectly natural and normal, creating some space here in the left-right side of the body. And for one breath, I would ask you to feel into expansion you can create in these two sides of the body. And maybe have a soft sigh out after this breath, softening also a little bit into the shoulders and the elbows. As you next take a breath in now, lifting up onto hands and knees. Maybe even lightly lifting your gaze and your tailbone. And when you're breathing out, round the back, but sit back towards the heels, returning once again into a softly extended child's pose. Let's do that again. As you inhale, lifting up, lifting lightly through tail and gaze, coming into a gentle back bend. When breathing out, round your back, move the spine backwards, hips towards your heels. Repeat that just once more. Inhalation, lifting up, opening the front of the body. And on the exhalation, rounding the back as you're extending into child's pose. Now the next time we're coming up onto all fours, keeping your spine more neutral. Find a stance here and take the wrist just slightly further forward than from underneath the shoulders. Sometimes when the arms are fully extended in child's pose, we're already landing here. Let's spread the fingers out. Find a solid foundation, the knees are usual distance, about hip distance apart. Lifting lightly through the head to maintain a neutral curve in the back of your neck. The only thing I'd ask you to do from here is take a breath in and lift your left leg, extending out into the toes of the left foot. On the out breath now, draw your knee under and bring your nose towards your knee. Breathe in as we extend again, lifting also the head, spine and neutral. Exhaling, rounding under once again. Inhaling to extend. And now as you breathe out, Bend your knee and draw it out towards the shoulder. Inhaling, extending the leg and the spine again. Repeat that. Draw your knee up towards the shoulder. As you breathe in, extend the leg again. And on your out breath, land your knee down onto the mat. We will repeat just on the other side. On your next inhalation, extend your right leg back. Point out through the toes. Remind yourself of the back of your neck. And on the next out breath, then draw your knee under, your nose towards the knee. Inhale, extend and lift. Exhaling, drawing under. Next one is a change already. As you inhale, extend your leg. As you bend the knee, draw it up towards the shoulder instead. Inhaling, extend, lengthen, lift. Exhale, bring the knee up towards the shoulder. Inhaling again to extend the leg. Lower the knee down to the mat and retreat back into child's pose. Keep your hands glued to the floor wherever they are and just move the hips back to where they can be. On the next inhalation, lifting back up onto your hands and your knees. We will repeat this movement, the last one, as we extend the left leg back again. Take your breath in. Exhaling, bring your knee in towards your nose. Inhaling to extend. Bend the knee, take it out towards the shoulder. Either you're extending backwards now or you're extending sideways as you breathe in. And then circle it back as you're breathing out. Inhale, find your length. We'll repeat that whole movement again. Exhale, knee and nose coming together. Inhaling, find length in leg and spine. Bend the knee, take it out towards the shoulder. Exhale. Either extend it back or out to the side. Watch the arms. And then circle it back. Landing knee down to the ground. And again, keep your hands glued to the mat and sit back onto your heels, stretching the arms forward, hips backwards. Returning again onto all fours. We've got another side to go with. Finding your stability. And as you inhale, now the right leg extends back. On the out breath, simple movement first. Knee in, nose to the knee. Inhaling, extend. Bend the knee, take it out towards the shoulder. Either extend it back or out to the side. And then circle the leg back. Hold it here. Next out breath, we'll repeat. Knee, nose coming together. Inhaling, extend and lift. Exhale, knee towards the shoulder. You can extend back or out to the side, mind your arms. Circle the leg back. Bring the knees down. Stretch the hips back. As you breathe in, coming back up onto all fours, this time tuck your toes under. If you need to stay here, that's fine. Otherwise, come into downward facing dog. Please do adapt the practice to your needs. You might start to move out through your legs, hips, arms. As usual, please find your range of movement for this morning, or basically limbering up a little bit, whatever it is that the body needs, an exploration or limbering up. And from this place, then start to walk your feet towards the top end of the mat. We will stay here in a standing forward bend. I will ask you to just soften the knees enough so maybe the belly can rest towards the thighs. If possible, to keep your head low so the neck is fully relaxed. And then maybe taking a hold of the opposite elbow with your hands. And there's an opportunity here to sway a little bit. And our natural movement would be here to go from side to side, or likely that it is. After you've done that a few times, see what happens if you just swing a little bit forwards and back instead. The feet would be solid here. It's more the upper body that's swinging. Whether that feels good or not is to decide, up to you. And then stop the whole swinging movement. Let your hands fall down towards the floor. And only move the head into a good no. And then a yes. And then a maybe. Now keep your hands away from the legs today. As you breathe in, press down into your feet. Keep the hands underneath the shoulders and see if you can straighten your spine. When breathing out, soften the knees again and fold forward. Do that again, breathing in. See if you can lengthen the spine. Notice if you need to bend your knees or straighten them. And next, out breath, folding forward. Repeat that one more time, lifting up to that halfway point. Hold here this time. Knees can be soft, legs can be straight, whatever works for you. See if you can lift the shoulders with a little bit upwards into their sockets and straighten your whole back out. So I could place my cup of coffee onto it without spilling it over. Hold there for just another breath. And then fold back down all the way. Inhale here. Engage your pelvic floor muscles and breathe out to slowly round up into standing. Lift your shoulders up and gently roll them back. And maybe in that process, the palms of the hands are opening out towards the front. Steady your gaze now. Find strength within the legs, within your glutes. Let the shoulders come back lightly. Maybe there's a gentle movement back of the shoulder blades. With the palms open to the front, let's circle the arms up. Inhale, lift your gaze. Fold forward on your out breath. Inhaling, lengthen the spine forward, and if it felt good, why not use the hands at all? And on your out breath, let's step the right foot back into a lunge. Finding just the length here as you rise up onto your fingertips. You can use hands on the thighs if you prefer. Otherwise, bend the back knee, curl up into standing as you're breathing in, lifting the arms up. We're in a high lunge. Soften into the back knee a little rather than stretching the leg out, keeping your pelvis in a more neutral position. As you inhale again, reach the arms up. Open your body to the side and take your arms out halfway. Inhale here. Your toes could be pointing into the corners of the mat. And as you're breathing out, bending your right knee, reaching towards it, other arm rests gently into the lower back. Watch that your knee is still in alignment here with your toes. The other leg might have a soft bend in the knee as well, rather than straightening it out. On the next inhalation, lift back up, arms out to shoulder height. And we'll repeat that to the other side. Bend the knee, reach the hand towards the knee, other hand behind the back. Now I'd really like you to pause there. The spine could still be halfway long. You could be a little bit deeper, but notice what you're doing in the other leg. Try not to force into the leg and into the hip. We'll do that a little bit faster. Inhale, open as you come to stand. Exhale as you move hand towards the knee into a light twist. Breathe in, come up to stand. Exhale, hand behind other onto the knee, twisting. Keep going. Find your own pattern of breathing, your own pace. Arms open on the inhalation, on the exhalation, you're going into your twist. Repeat once more to each side. Have some awareness in the opposite leg. And find yourself nice and tall when you inhale. Next, turning your toes a little bit inwards, preparing for a standing forward bend. As you breathe out, starting to fold. And for this first one, your hands might stay underneath the shoulders. Take a breath in as you lengthen the spine before entering a little bit more deeply. And when breathing out, folding all the way. Placing the hands underneath the shoulders even as you're moving deeper. Lifting the shoulders into their sockets as we did in the last round of our standing forward bend, Uttanasana. The weight here shifts slightly forward within the feet so that the pelvis tilts, the tailbone shines up, and maybe that gets us a little bit deeper. Stay here for a few more breaths. Maybe we're creating a bit of space here in the back. As you next breathe in, come back up to your fingertips. Now let's turn the left toes forward. Walk the hands to either side of the foot as you lift your back heel. Stepping the foot back into down dog or coming onto all fours, that's absolutely your choice. Taking a breath in as we roll forward, coming into plank or kneeling plank. On your out breath, we enter a vinyasa. You might keep it gentle for the first round and lift into cobra. Maybe you even release back to the mat. Inhaling all fours again. And then if you like, stretch back into the child's pose, something that's more familiar from the beginning of our practice. Those of you who prefer can come into downward facing dog from here. Again, a familiar movement. If you found this movement on all fours was very good for you, please repeat. Otherwise, lift it from a down dog, extending the right leg up and back. On the out breath, bring your knee and nose together. Inhaling, extend the leg. Exhale, bring your knee towards your shoulder. Now, either you're extending back or sideways. Mind the arms. Then circle the leg up, extending backwards. On the next out breath, bring the foot forward between your hands. Come to your fingertips as you inhale. On the out breath, return to standing forward bend. Let's see what you prefer. Half lift as you're breathing in. Exhaling to fold. Stay here, inhale. Use pelvic floor, breathe out, curl up into standing. Lift the shoulders, roll them back, open the palms of the hands, and concentrate on the firm stance, feet, legs. Inhale, lift the arms, maybe your gaze. Breathing out to fold. Inhaling to a half lift, your variation for today. And exhale, stepping the left foot back. Pause here for a moment as you lengthen through the spine. And then there's the option of either using hands on the thighs or bending the back knee. Breathe out, curl yourself up. Breathe in to lift the arms and finding your high lunge. So again, look more after the positioning of the pelvis rather than straightening your back leg. Keep a little bend in the knee as you find this balance. On the next inhalation, stretching a little bit further. And then turn yourself back, open arms going back out to shoulder height. So once more, adjust your toes, point them out towards the corners of the mat. Arms roughly shoulder height, shoulders relaxed. Take a breath in. And as you're breathing out, bend your left knee. If you like, you can go deeper this time. Hand could start still behind the back, but you might reach for the foot or still come over for the knee. Notice what the other leg is doing, how that feels around the knee, ankle, hip. If you like, you can even lift the opposite arm. Take yourself back into standing. Breath in, open the arms out, shoulder height. And we'll do that slowly to the other side as you bend your knee, reaching either for the knee or the foot. Start with the arm behind the back, loosely relaxed into the lower back. Exploring this range of movement as well as the extended leg, all the joints within it. Maybe there's some softness required. And you could also lift the arm. Let's bring that into a movement pattern. Inhale, rise up to stand. Exhaling, twist. Inhaling, lifting up to stand. Exhaling, twist. So take these twists the way they feel right for you. So you're applying some loving kindness to your body as you find your own pattern, your own pace of movement. Never should there be any pain at all. The movement should be free and flowing. And sometimes over the repetitions, some parts of the body are freeing up and you might feel more confident. Let's repeat once more to each side. As you come back into standing, let's turn the toes back inwards, outer edges of the feet parallel with the mat. If you like, for this round, you can place your hands into the side of the waist. Breathe in, standing tall and strong, and breathing out as you fold from your hips, leaning forward as much as feels right for you, maybe even letting go of the head. Now, take the shoulders into the sockets, squeeze the elbows backwards, shoulder blades together. And while you're here, start to lean the weight towards the front end of the feet. So again, to tilt the pelvis, tailbone high, accessing the back, a forward bend with more ease. Please stay here if available for 2 more breaths. When you have completed the 2 breaths, let your hands come down. Inhale, lengthen your spine forward. Turning your toes towards the front end of the mat. Walk the hands to either side, lift your back heel. Planting the hands down as you step the foot back, or fours or downward facing dog. On the in-breath, roll the spine forward, take it through your vinyasa and keep it slow. You can decide knees on or off the mat, keep your elbows close towards your body. And same here, make your decisions. How many breaths does your vinyasa have? We will meet on all fours or downward facing dog, your choice. Inhaling, lifting the left leg. Breath out, bring your knee to your nose. Inhale, extend the leg. Bend the knee, take it towards the shoulder. Either extend it back from here or sideways. Then circle it up. On the next out breath, step the foot towards the front end of the mat. Find a half lift on your fingertips. And breathe out to standing forward fold. Inhale here. On the next out breath, use your pelvic floor strength and roll up into standing. Lifting the shoulders up and open back into standing mountain pose. Breath in to lift the arms, the gaze. Exhaling to fold forward. Find your half lift for today with or without support of your hands. Breath out, let's step the right foot back again. Now let's bring the right knee, sorry I have to turn myself again. The right knee down onto the ground. Sliding your left foot back and extending the leg out. Bringing your right forearm onto the floor. Now I'd like you to lean more towards the side of this leg if you would like to have the support. So it's becoming a sideways forearm plank. If this is too strong, you can always step a little bit higher up onto the knee. Maybe it's plenty to hold here and you're already feeling the side of the waist firing up. Some of you might want to lift the front arm or the left one. As you press down into the forearm so you're not collapsing into the right shoulder. If you feel it's appropriate, let's swing the arm down, lower the hips. Then lift it up again, inhale. Exhale, swing it down, lower the hips. Inhale, lift it up again. And once more. And lift it up. Now let's lower the whole side of the hip down. Turn yourself into a seated position. Lift the arms out in front, breathing in, flex the feet. On your out breath, roll down slowly onto your back. If possible, lifting the arms over the head. Now let's bring space into the right side. I call this a banana pose or lying down half moon. Keep your gaze upwards and walk your straight arms and straight legs towards the left-hand side, finding length in the right side. So we're not rolling anywhere, we're still on our backs. I invite you even to close the eyes and breathe along the right side of the body. 2 more breaths. To release that, let's bring the arms by the sides and center your legs again. Then step your feet up onto the mat. Lifting the right leg up and place your ankle on top of the thigh and open your knee out to the side. Now, if you do have any knee hip issues, this might be plenty for you to do. Maybe you're encouraging the knee a bit outwards, using your hand gently. Others might want to lift the other foot, take a hold of the shin or the back of the leg and hug the legs in towards you. Let the shoulders release here. Take a couple of deep breaths. Going into the stretch. From there, you would place your left leg back down, bring your arms down by the sides. Maybe you're keeping the ankle up there, or you place the foot onto the floor for a bridge. Squeeze your buttocks as you breathe out and push it right up into the air. Hold here. Then extend the right leg up. Place the foot to the ground to join those that are on their feet. And as you exhale, roll back down onto the mat. I'd ask you to extend the legs if that works for you. Roll all the way down onto the front of your body, finding your back bend as you inhale. On the out breath, come through over the knees or straight back into a downward facing dog as we return. On your in-breath, all fours or down dog, right leg lifts. We'll repeat our little sequence on the out breath. Bring your knee to your nose. Inhale to extend it back, knee to the shoulder. Your choice to extend back or sideways from here to circle back. And next, out breath to step forward. Come onto the fingertips as you inhale, standing forward, bend, out breath. Inhaling your half lift for today. Bend the knees, pelvic floor on, exhale, roll up from here straight away. Roll the shoulders back and down, open the palms of the hands. We repeat this on the other side. Inhaling, lift. Exhaling, fold. Inhale, your half lift. Exhaling, stepping your left foot back into a lunge. Bring the left knee down to the ground. Slide the right leg back. Now come down onto your left forearm. I'm adjusting again to more the outside of the knee here. Please find your own variations. I'm after forearm side plank. Some of you might even extend the lower leg. You're feeling very strong this morning. Others might want to lift the right arm. You can hold here, you can swing your arm down and lower the hip, and then pushing back up and reaching your arm up again. Maybe repeat that twice more. And then releasing your hip down and rolling all the way into a seat. Lifting the arms out to the front. On your exhalation, roll down onto your back. Inhale, arms extending over the head. Back to the banana pose as you walk your arms and legs to the right this time. Keep yourself lying on the back, gaze up towards the ceiling, eyes might be closed. And then take a few deep breaths along the left side of your body. Returning arms and legs, bringing the arms down by the sides, stepping your feet up onto the floor. You might want to adjust your hips and back, and then placing your left ankle on top of the right thigh. Gently let the knee open out. This might be plenty for you. If it is, you could place your hand against the thigh and encourage the knee to further opening. Or if you would like to, you can take a hold of the back of the right thigh or your shin and draw the foot off the ground and hug the legs in a bit deeper. Enjoying the stretch here for a few breaths. From this place, then bring your right foot back down onto the ground, arms down by your sides. Either both feet on the ground or keeping your ankle there. On an exhalation, squeeze your buttocks and lift your hips up high. From there, lifting the left leg. Foot comes to the ground. And slowly rolling down onto the mat. You might want to extend your legs and roll yourself back all the way onto the front of the body, finding your back bend as you breathe in and transitioning onto all fours or down dog when breathing out. Return once more to our sequence. Left leg lifting, inhale. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Open the knee, bring it towards the shoulder. Maybe extending it out. Circling it back. And on the next out breath, bring the foot forward. Come onto your fingers as you inhale. Step to forward bend, exhale. Breathe in here. And have a long, slow out breath to roll up into standing again. Take the shoulders back. Open the palms of the hands. Steady your gaze. We will change from here. As I'd ask you to lift the arms out and your right knee. Hopefully we're quite prepared. Ankle to the thigh as we sit that little bit lower into the posture. Similar effect, maybe some opening around the hips. And I invite you to now slide the foot over to prepare for eagle pose. So starting to press the legs against each other as you take your right arm underneath your left for a shoulder embrace or to touch the palms. Let the shoulders relax, lifting through the elbows. Now steady your gaze, hold. If you would like to go deeper, start to lean a bit forward. Keeping the gaze steady, determined, keeping length in the spine. Now maybe we're keeping the arms like this. And as you breathe in, lift the right knee back up, flex the foot. On the out breath, turn this into a warrior three with your eagle arms. Leg is extending backwards. Pointing the toes. Landing into standing, extend the arms up and circle them back out and bring them down by your sides. Maybe there's a shoulder shrug, a rocking over the feet. Finding your steady gaze. We'll repeat on the other side. As you inhale, lift your arms and your left knee. Placing ankle to the thigh as you lower. Finding your balance ideally. From here, let the legs slide across. Begin to push the legs against each other if you're joining in. Left arm now underneath the right, shoulder embrace or palms touching. Let the shoulders be relaxed, the elbows away from your chest. Steady gaze. Your choice to stay here or to lean forward, but maintain a straight spine as you do so. Maintain the strength in the legs, even the arms. From there, inhale, lifting the left leg, flex the foot. On the out breath, come into warrior three, maybe eagle arms. Pointing out through the toes. Land the foot down, extend, unwind the arms, and breath out to bring them back into mountain pose. Inhaling, lift it again. Exhaling, folding forward. Your last opportunity for a half lift. On the out breath, step back into a downward facing dog. Take a breath in from here, roll forward into a plank. And then lower all the way down onto the mat. I will ask you to keep the hands underneath the shoulders. Lifting the right foot up with the knee bent. Now this would be plenty if you choose to, and we will extend the left arm along the side. If you like to, you can catch the foot, only if that feels good. Otherwise, just keep the knee bent. As you take a breath in, lifting the left leg off the ground. Maybe the foot is pushing into the hand. Maybe you're just reaching up with the foot and back with the hand. Hold here, 2 breaths. Left hand is supporting on the floor gently. Then release. Hand under the shoulder, leg long, forehead to the ground or your chin. Repeat this on the other side. Now your left leg is bending. Same options here. You can just hold here, extend your left arm along the side of the body, or you can take a hold of the foot. Your choice as you breathe in to lift that left leg. Either you're reaching up with the foot and down with the fingertips towards the back of your space, or you're pushing the foot into the hand. No matter which option, the right hand is there as a support. Stay for another breath. And then release. Hands back down by the sides. Inhale as you come onto all fours. And a breath out to stretch back onto the heels. I will ask you to roll up into a seat and to take your legs out in front of you. Even taking the legs out wide today. Now, if you want any support underneath your buttocks, because it will be a forward bend from here, you can roll up the end of your mat or put a little cushion underneath. I recommend, if it's a cushion, to point one edge of the cushion forward, and so that leaves more space for the sit bones to open. Walk out those sit bones for a moment. Begin to align your legs as you actively pull the toes up towards the ceiling. Place the hands gently by your side, slightly behind, maybe just the fingertips down there. Take a breath in and see if you can lift all the way up through the spine. Start to lightly engage the pelvic floor. As you're breathing out, then you can use the hands wherever they are and swaying a little bit forward. So it's a slightly different way of getting into this pose. Please lower the gaze so the neck is back in its neutral curve. If you like the hands back there, if they help you, keep them there, or you could place your hands somewhere against your legs. I will invite you to stay here now with the alignment of the toes pointing upwards, your spine long, and allowing each out breath now to simply deepen this pose. If, however, you need this slight swaying movement, stay with it. It could be just what you need right now, but be aware of what it is that your body requires you to do. 2 more breaths into the stillness. After these 2 breaths, place your right arm somewhere to the inside of your right leg. Don't change anything in your alignment, and just take a breath in to draw your left shoulder back. Let your hands slide here into the side of the waist or towards your lower back. If your shoulder is happy on that side, you could alternatively extend this arm over the body. Palm of the hand in that case is facing down, and the little finger slightly turned in for good shoulder positioning. Now notice, have you let go of the alignment of your legs? Feel the length there in the left side of the body. Breathe into stillness for 2 breaths. To release it, just roll in, soften your shoulder, soften your torso. Place the left arm to the inside of the left leg. And do the same here, light pressure of those 2 as you're opening through the right shoulder, hands sliding into the side of the waist or into your back. Keep your legs active, toes upwards. If your body allows you to, you could extend the arm here as well. And staying there, 2 breaths into the stillness, palm facing down. We will release in the same way, just softening the body inwards as you place your hands somewhere into the center and walking back up into sitting. Bring your legs now together. Lift your arms up once more and breathe out slowly to roll down onto your back. I'd ask you to step the feet down once again onto the mat. To readjust your back. Maybe the feet step in a little bit closer. Keep them hip distance. We're coming up into a straight bridge. Arms down by the sides. Squeeze your buttocks. Breathe out and lift your hips up. Now I invite you again to breathe into the stillness for 2 breaths. Please keep your glutes switched on. After the 2 breaths, inhale again, and then control the rolling down, vertebra at a time, taking it slowly. Lifting your knees up towards the chest and bring one hand onto each kneecap. Moving the knees away as you inhale. Hug them in as you're breathing out. Repeat for 2 more. And at the end, you might choose to just keep a hold here and rock a little bit over the back, preparing your body for Shavasana, for your relaxation. When you're ready, cushion yourself up, cover yourself, keep yourself warm and comfortable. If it's possible, legs will either be supported by cushioning or out long. And if that is not available, please have your feet stepped onto the ground. Arms will open up, shoulders relax onto the mat. Notice the positioning of your head, the neck, and if the neck is in the natural curve, oftentimes we allow the head here to fall backwards. If that is you, have a subtle chin tuck as you bring the chin in. Eyes might be closed or your gaze comes to steady. Finding even more stillness. We've had a few moments of stillness in the last few postures. I would ask you to find that still spot within you. Doesn't mean everything has to stop. Your mind will never. So you might encourage your mind to breathe or to focus on the breath rather. Maybe you're tapping back into that movement of your lungs. The observation of the gentle rising and falling. You can either keep your mind with exactly that, or dive a little bit deeper into the impossible made possible. She spins, this great earth goddess, upon invisible strings amongst a wildly pulsating ballet of life. Stars are born, live and die all around her. Life moves in constant floods, and still she spins in her great, loving, constant pirouette. How can this be? All of creation is born from nothing. Out of endless silence and darkness, light emerges. What strange magic is this? The sun heats the solar system and burns with her power to destroy life. Yet it is a force by which life is sustained. Surely this makes no sense and cannot be. We dance in the realm of the impossible made possible constantly, you and I. We are so engrossed in it, so familiar with it, and yet blind to it, that those constant impossibilities happening in every moment fail to inspire us. Yet, what are your biggest, boldest, most extraordinary, impossible dreams compared to this impossibility of life itself? Oh, they are but tiny seeds in the Creator's masterful band, being now planted in the heavenly garden. Yes, they are being planted right now, for the moon tells us the time is right. Most tenderly shall they be watched over, nurtured into fullness according to the season. Yes, that growth is assured. The impossible is now made possible. When your heart is much more powerful than your mind, you won't unintentionally block the incredible grace of manifestation seeking to pour into your thirsty soul, like the sweetest, purest water of blessing. Trust your heart, trust the love, as you begin to deepen your breathing again. Starting maybe to move and stretch as you breathe. And in your own time, returning from there into a seated pose. And when you arrive, you might touch your hands either flat to the heart space or against each other, thumbs to the heart space into Anjali Mudra. Closing the eyes again. As we extend this love to each other, Namaste.